The path to the global stage began far from the stadium lights, for a boy kicking a deflated ball against the concrete walls of Madeira. In Quinta Falcón, life was defined by strict financial limits and a tin-roofed municipal house. Yet the neighborhood's steep volcanic roads provided a natural training ground, where every sprint up the cobblestones conditioned his balance and lung capacity before he ever joined a club. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked double shifts as a cook and cleaner to manage the budget. Seeing her physical sacrifice created a sense of obligation that would eventually drive his work ethic. At 12, he flew alone to Lisbon to join Sporting CP. The transition was a nightmare of isolation. His teammates and teachers ridiculed his thick island accent, and he spent his first year crying himself to sleep in his dormitory bunk. Realizing he was a foreigner in his own country, he stopped seeking social acceptance. He resolved to command respect through absolute, undeniable superiority on the football pitch. At 15, Sporting's medical staff discovered tachycardia. His resting heart rhythm spiked dangerously, a diagnosis threatening to end his career. He underwent laser ablation surgery to cauterize the irregular nerve. As his mother recalled, he was discharged and immediately demanded to train. Even with a healthy heart, he was physically frail. In the Portuguese second division, veteran defenders routinely targeted his slender frame, using aggressive contact to try and intimidate the teenager. He responded by sneaking into the academy gym at midnight. He strapped weights to his ankles during individual drills, reasoning that his feet would fly faster in real matches once the extra weight was removed. Surviving a heart defect and physical targeting established a core belief: raw talent was too fragile to stand alone. If he was to survive the professional game, his body had to be engineered. His development reached a turning point in 2003. This match dossier shows how he generated 6 successful take-ons against the reigning English champions, convincing Sir Alex Ferguson to sign him for Manchester United within days. He arrived at Old Trafford to take the iconic number 7 shirt, but early critics were unimpressed. Rivals and media outlets labeled him a show pony, focusing on his endless stepovers that often lacked a clinical final cross. The United dressing room offered a harsh education. Senior leaders like Roy Keane deliberately tackled him hard in training to break his habit of excessive dribbling, forcing him to stand up and release the ball faster. After the 2006 World Cup and the death of his father, he committed to a complete physical restructuring. He shifted his focus from aesthetic tricks to functional power. He added 12 kilograms of functional muscle mass to his core and legs to absorb Premier League contact. He redesigned his free kick technique to create an unpredictable dipping trajectory and developed a specialized jumping routine that resulted in a 78-centimeter vertical leap. By 2008, the erratic winger had become a clinical goalscorer. He finished the season with 42 goals and secured his first Ballon d'Or. In 2009, he moved to Real Madrid for a world record £80 million. He stepped into a landscape dominated by Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, where the pressure to deliver immediate trophies was higher than anywhere else in sport. He was now measured against Lionel Messi. This wasn't just a competition for points, it was a decade-long psychological duel that forced both men to maintain a level of output never before seen in the sport. These figures show the intensity of that era. When Messi won 4 consecutive Ballon d'Ors, many expected Ronaldo to falter. Instead, the deficit triggered a resurgence in his training methodology. He executed a second tactical shift, moving from the touchline to the interior. By attacking the blind spots of center-backs and focusing on one-touch finishing, he became the sport's most consistent penalty box predator. This evolution allowed him to eventually level the Ballon d'Or count at 5-5, proving his psychological resilience matched his physical engineering. The Champions League became his defining stage. He recorded 67 knockout stage goals, more than any other player, leading Real Madrid to 3 consecutive European titles between 2016 and 2018. He maintained this output through sheer physical maintenance, exemplified by an overhead bicycle kick against Juventus that saw him strike the ball nearly 8 feet in the air. While he conquered Europe with his club, the national team remained a source of pressure. This stadium in Lisbon was the site of the Euro 2004 final, where the world saw him weeping after a shock defeat to Greece. For 12 years, he carried the expectations of a nation of 10 million. In 2016, he finally captained Portugal to their first senior trophy, transitioning from the heartbroken teenager of 2004 to a champion. Carrying the collective weight of a nation for over a decade requires a specific type of psychological endurance that few athletes ever sustain. To maintain this level into his late 30s, he manages unseen metrics, polyphasic sleep cycles, cold plunge therapy, and a diet of ultra-clean proteins and complex carbohydrates. His current era in Saudi Arabia serves as the final chapter of a machine that refuses to power down. Football is full of prodigies with natural balance and sublime touch who eventually fade away. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey is the definitive proof that an unbreakable obsession with improvement can conquer talent, time, and history.